Hey everybody, back again. Gonna finish up the P51 build. I didn't realize that I was as close to being done as what I was. Just show you here, I already went ahead and put the control horn on, put the clevis on, and the push rod. So that's all hooked up. Probably have to go back and adjust that. The landing gear were already assembled, already in place. I put them, quickly hooked these up to put them in the down position just so I could take some pictures of the airplane that you saw at the beginning here. And then we're just going to put these on the plane, hook them up, and give everything a test out, and then hopefully at a later point be able to go out and give it a test flight. Today it is very windy outside, so obviously it's not going to happen today. Just want to show you the battery pack that came with it. This is a 2200 milliamp 20C 14.8 volt. Comes with it, and then we got the screws here that hold the wing on. There's actually two screws, one front and one back here, that hold each wing on. And then there is a support bar beam that goes through. I guess you'd call it a wing wing spar. Goes right through the center. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on and hook these up, and I'll walk you through that. And so this will probably be a really quick video. And then we'll check out, I know several of you have asked about CG on this airplane, so that's one thing we're going to check out, see where the CG falls with the stock battery, and then when we take it out for a flight, we'll see if we need to modify that or anything. Okay, so final assembly of the wings here is going to be pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of room on this table in here, so I'm going to do the best I can. There's I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a hole here which goes up into underneath the canopy. Which is where all your controls are and the receiver and stuff. So what we do is we fish these lines. Now this is kind of nice because it tells what channel they go to. This one says CH1 on it, and this one says CH5. So one is for the aileron operation, the other one is for the landing gear. And like I said, these are a servo-less retract on this, so these were already pre-installed and already set up. So just fish those kind of down through here. That, just so you can grab them and you don't want to pinch them off or anything. Then that slides right into position like that. I'm going to go ahead and screw that down, try to move it into a position where you can see here. So there's 4 screws to hold this in. I'm just going to put these in just temporarily, just part way for the moment. I'll tighten them down afterwards. So just kind of put a couple turns on it, make sure it's biting in. Yeah, seems good. Do the same thing with the back here. This is kind of nice on the fuselage. This is actually a pretty thick piece of clear plastic that this is going into. And then there's where it bites into, it looks like almost an epoxy board of some sort. I'm not sure what you'd call it, but it's like a backer board kind of thing. So that's biting in. So then I'm going to take off this canopy just so that I can set it on the table a little bit better here. There we go. So now the second side, the other side, before we put the wing in, I'm going to feed this spar down through just as far as it'll go. Now I'm not going to glue it or anything. I suppose you could if you were concerned about extra strength, but I really need to take these wings off for transport. So then the other wing slides right on here. Those screw in place. You put the servos through, or the servo wires, excuse me, through, and then they all hook up into the receiver. Now the receiver on this, I thought was supposed to be held down with a piece of tape or something. It was not, so I'm going to take a piece of double stick tape and just kind of stick it to the side here. Make sure that it's not in the way of the battery or the servos. And then you've got the connectors here that are connected to the channels on the receiver. I'm going to wait to hook them down until I make sure I got everything hooked up to the right one on the receiver. Channel 1 is usually ailerons, and then 2 is elevator, 3 is usually throttle, and 4 is usually rudder. So that's the way we're going to go with it. Now, the one thing that I did notice that I want to point out, and I won't go through this, but I'm going to point it out to you anyways. One thing that I did notice when I was looking up in here, the 3 motor wires up in here, 2 of them came unhooked during transport. I don't know how they came unhooked, but I'm going to have to take off the spinner and prop and this cowling here. There's just 4 screws on that, and kind of fish those back through and hook those together. And I'm going to run some black tape around them so that they're not pulling loose again, tuck them back up in. And then the last step is just some cosmetics. They give you some black things to go over the exhaust ports here. These are supposed to be the exhaust that's on the real plane, so it just kind of covers those, gives them a little extra neat little look to it. And it looks like I got to touch up a little bit of paint here. I had this hanging up on my wall in here, and it looks like the hanger kind of peeled a little bit of paint off, so I'm going to have to get some paint that will match up. So then we'll take a look at the CG. I'll get this all together, finish it up, and take a look at the CG and see if it comes out like it's supposed to. Okay, so I went ahead and got all the connections hooked up to the receiver. Turned on the transmitter. This is a transmitter that comes with the plane. This is one that comes with all their Airfield planes, as far as I can tell. The 800 millimeter series. Here, I'm going to kneel down so you can see a little bit better. And from what I can tell, it's a pretty good transmitter. This is the 6-channel version rather than the 4-channel version, so you got 2 switches up here. And that is a 6-channel receiver in there as well. But as you can see, throttle doesn't do anything. Now, everything else seems to work just fine. Aileron works okay. I got to level this one up over here just a little bit. Elevator, I got something binding in there. You can hear it kind of clicking. And rudder works okay, so I got to check out that binding. And then the other neat feature on this plane is the retracts. I'm going to flip this over so that you can see the retracts a little bit better. There we go. This is just too cool. I love these new servoless retracts. They're a lot easier than trying to string wire and stuff for doing the standard retracts. So here we go. That's just way too neat. It looks like they line up pretty well. They fit up there fairly snug. And I should mention this is made out of the same type of board. It's not really a plywood, but it resembles plywood, and then there's a sticker overlay, but it looks pretty beefy, very stiff. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the CG on this and see if we can't figure out where the CG falls and if this needs any weight in the nose or anything or in the tail, because I have heard of some CG issues. And then before my flight, I'm going to take this apart, take this cowling off, and get that motor hooked up right. And then we'll try a flight with it sometime, hopefully this week, and I'll have the video for you next week sometime. So until then, well, actually, I'll be right back in just a couple minutes and with the CG on this, so we'll take a look at that, okay? So for the CG, the instructions say that it should be about 4 3/4 inch back, which is 120 millimeters from this edge right here. So that puts it right in this area here of where this dimple is, right at the front edge of that. So I assume that that's why they put it in there, that's where it should bounce. What I did is I actually put, I don't know if you can see it now, unfortunately you can't. I put about, probably 3/4 to an ounce of weight up front, some clay. I actually moved that CG up to right about here on it. So hopefully that will handle a little bit better, and that will take care of the tail heavy issues that others have reported. So once again, this is the Airfield P-51 Mustang. This is the 1450 millimeter wingspan version, and I can't wait to get out and fly this thing as soon as the weather allows me to. Let me show you what I'm doing here in my workshop. I've just hung up these planes here. This is fairly new. I just did all this stuff just the other day. I had been keeping the stuff out in my garage, and I decided, well, I'm going to turn this portion of the house into my airplane workshop. So just a few of the planes that I have, a few more down there that I haven't gotten put up yet, a couple kits that need to go together yet. So hopefully we'll get this done, finished up soon, and hopefully I can get out and fly this plane soon. We'll see you then.